Hi, welcome to High Road to You, and this is Mark Stouffer, and I wanted to share something with you that intrigues me beyond understanding, right? I see herd mentality, and I see how detrimental it is, especially with my family growing up. It was toxic, it was dependency, it was ignore, deny, blame, it was just complete chaos, total shit show. But yet it's like a magnet, and I think about it's like a sitcom that was barely making it. Really was like going to get taken off the air, and then some woman says, "Hey, this show shouldn't even be playing." She started a campaign, and it went viral, and the show became #1, and that was Married with Children. And I think about like Faces of Death. It was a movie, and one of the anchors, I think CBS News or something, said, hey, this is something that's out on the market but should not be watched by anybody, and it became the #1 hit, blockbuster video hit, something like that. But the point I'm trying to make is that herd mentality is really what destroys, the Roman Empire. It's what destroys, the foundation that really allows people to thrive, okay? And I think about Saturday Night Fever, the disco movement, and how it was the epitome of, drugs and sex and, this disco underground movement. And then it just took over the world. And, I got caught up in that. At that age, I was young, and it was just drugs were just put in front of me all the time. And then there was this, gang mentality, crab bucket syndrome. It was so detrimental to so many of us in our youth, and a lot of my friends, family didn't make it out, or they didn't make it out very well, and they're struggling for the rest of their life because they took on that lifestyle. And I guess it's just challenging for me to understand why. Thank you so much. Have a great day. So, it's disheartening because I see the pain, and it's subtle. It's subtle because it starts off, taking a little hit of pot, and it escalates to, more drugs and more dysfunction and dependency. And, you get caught up in the system, and then, that toxic system, it's a massive industry, right? It supports, prevailing wage. It supports, union labor, and building out prison systems and jail systems and maintaining them and servicing them. And, you got to decide for yourself, what side of the fence are you going to play? And I just think it's important to raise your kids and then lead by example. I'm dealing with some corporate legal stuff, that has to do with family. I cannot believe that I have to confront this kind of stuff. And I think ultimately what I'm trying to say is that I have always prided myself in rising above the stupidity of that mindset, when it comes to just, paying our dues, paying our taxes, doing things by the book, just having a foundation that isn't a house of cards. So, I hope this resonates with somebody out there. I just realized the things that I have to do, I can't look the other way. I can't ignore the crack in the boat. I'm not going to go out to deeper sea and just hope that it's going to get smaller, or it's just going to stay the same size, because it doesn't, and it won't. And it's just like that elephant in the room, doesn't get any smaller, and it doesn't stay the same size. It gets bigger. So that is the reality of life. And we're always at that crossroad trying to navigate those details and take the high road to you. That's my take on it. All right. Hope this message finds you well. Thank you for watching High Road to You content. And this is where you take action. Nothing happens without action. Please share your story on how you incorporated nutrition, physical and social activity, how you incorporated accountability in your life, how you didn't ignore, you didn't deny, you didn't blame, but you pivoted through a difficult challenge in your life. And how did you build that foundation to overcome and thrive? And I hope this content allows you to enjoy the journey of that, right? That would be the biggest blessing for me. Share your story, share your milestones, encourage and inspire others. And with that, I wish you well.